ready to join up in some kind of motorcycle parade, I guess. I'm trying to find it. I thought they were meeting at a different school, but maybe it's this one right here. Just a few people here. Alright, so I am apparently in a parade with a bunch of Harleys. I might be the only Honda here. I'm definitely the only person not wearing leather or denim. And we're about to go on a little 25-mile ride or so from Hoquiam, which is where we are, to Ocean Shores. They have a big Harley weekend. Well, a big motorcycle weekend, but it's mostly Harleys. In Ocean Shores the last weekend of July every year. So this is my first time riding in this thing though. Actually this is my first time riding in a group. So a little bit different for me. Right along the waterfront here on the harbor. I think it's kind of ironic they have this convention in Ocean Shores, Washington, because Ocean Shores is a retirement community with lots of grumpy old people. Trick-or-treating is illegal. If you own an empty piece of property, you have to get a permit to like camp on it. It's like a really pretentious town. And then it gets invaded with mostly Harleys, tons of loud motorcycles for a whole weekend. It's just kind of funny, I think. How long is this straight stretch? 61.7 miles on my thing right now. We got motorcycles all the way to the end of it. Alright, so it was, my tripometer said 61.7 miles at the beginning of the straightaway, and there were already motorcycles all the way to the end. And we're getting, oh, this is perfect. 62.6, 62.7. It's exactly a 1 mile straightaway. And yep, there are motorcycles all the way at the end of it. Looking in my mirrors. So at least 2 miles of motorcycles. So does anyone else ride in group rides more regularly than me? Because this is my first time, but how do people typically want to ride? Like, I feel like I'm following too closely, but there's people following a lot closer than me, so then I'm like, oh, maybe I'm following too far. What's normal group riding etiquette? Like, what am I supposed to be doing? Am I supposed to be riding right beside that person in front of me? Those kids are making out so much candy. There's like 2 kids there, every single person throwing candy at them. Perfect. That is what I should have done when I was a kid, as I should have just went somewhere remote. I went in Ocean Shores, lined up shoulder to shoulder with hundreds of other people. I just realized I'm not the only one not wearing leather because I have leather boots on. Sweet! I fit right in. Although I'm probably the only one wearing a full face helmet, from the looks of it. Well, we've actually entered Ocean Shores. Most of the people are going to be showing up on the sides of the roads watching now. There's still a lot of bikes that are here that never even came out to be in the parade. Because it's Saturday. They actually started the convention on Friday. Well, that was the main downtown area. Now I guess we just kind of cruise around Ocean Shores for a little bit. They don't want to stop the parade right there in downtown where the convention center is because it'll just bottleneck it up. So we kind of cruise around Ocean Shores and then go back to the convention center. We're on some like little neighborhood streets and these people are like, what the heck? Oh, nursing home, waving your little scooter. That's awesome. One lady outside the nursing home rode a motorcycle in her day, probably. It's a tan guy for being in Washington. Oh, the guy in front of me on the right has got a Seahawks flag on the back. And I think, no, this is a different one. Maybe it's the guy in front of him in that blue bike. There's a bike around here that's got like Seahawks logo painted on the front of it. Really nice. It's pretty cool looking. Everyone's crazy about Seahawks in Washington, if you don't know that already. Looks like they're getting warmed up to do their stunt show over here. Yep. A lot of people stopped coming to this because they put all these no parking signs all over downtown and started enforcing it on Harley weekend. There used to be bikes everywhere around here, but old people didn't like it. About it for the Harley weekend, or motorcycle weekend. Sun and Surf, I guess is what they really call it. It's a lot smaller than it used to be. There's a couple bars in town that used to always have like massive amounts of motorcycles, like hundreds and hundreds of them parked out front. And I just rode by them and there was literally like 5 or 6 motorcycles there. They used to seriously be like in the median between the main road, in the front and the back, on the shoulders, just everywhere motorcycles. And there's another bar where they actually set up like this big, huge outside beer garden, and they put up these tents and a bunch of extra tables and seats. And you go by there at night and there would always be another 100 or so bikes there. There was two motorcycles there. And that was it. Went through a couple hotel parking lots and there was some bikes there, but it was nothing like it used to be. So I just rode through the campground, Ocean City State Park, because it's full, but there's not really many motorcycles here. It's just mainly cars. Seems to dwindle a little more every year. It's usually bad weather though. This was an incredibly nice weekend. I've never seen it this nice, I don't think. There's an outdoor concert at the casino here. This is crazy. I remember people talking about when they built this casino that it was taking some of the people, the motorcycles, and they were starting to do events and concerts out here, taken away from the convention center and stuff. So, looks like that still holds true. I bet all the bikes that used to be parked at the bars are probably here right now, actually. Close to. I still don't think it's quite as many. Definitely not, but at least it's not as dead as it was when I rode by the bars earlier and there was like nothing. Cover band. Can't remember what they're called. Just in the last couple of years, they've had this sport bike stunt team coming out, so that puts on a pretty good show. I'll throw in a bunch of footage from that, because that's probably the highlight for me, just going and watching the stunt bikes. Since there isn't nearly as many motorcycles or vendors to look at like there used to be. At least the stunt show is pretty cool.